Xander Zayas will be facing off against Jorge Fortea this weekend on the Ramirez and Rafael Espinoza fight card. It'll be the co-main event. It'll be a huge fight for him, a step-up fight at 154. I feel like right now Xander Zayas is the top basically fighter. He's not a prospect anymore. He's actually the youngest contender right now at age 21. Especially with the position he's put himself into with a huge win against Roberto Valenzuela earlier. I want to say in the summer, might have been August, September. No, it was 2 months ago, so I would say it was in October. It was a huge performance for him. He actually stopped him. A lot of guys that Valenzuela been in the ring with couldn't stop him, so that was a huge opportunity for him. For him to only be 21 years old, coming out of Puerto Rico. I feel like he has a lot of power, speed, has a very good jab, overall combination. I haven't seen him fight much over the years, but that fight right there showed me a lot about him as far as being patient, not trying to press the gas and go for the knockout. He was just doing a lot of body work, certain things like that, going to the body and then going up top, basically working those kind of punch combinations. And for him to do that against Valenzuela, that was a huge win in my book, especially for a guy who's 21 years old. A lot of the top guys who's future champions and possible champions right now couldn't do that against Valenzuela. So I feel like Zayas right now is probably the top young guy, especially from 154 and under. I feel like he's going to be the one who makes that division a big deal in the future. He's done a lot of different things these last couple of years. That's going to show everyone that he's a top dog. This is a different area. A lot of these young guys, they're not really waiting around and trying to see who's going to give them an opportunity, and they're not going to be running around and calling out different guys' names, trying to build a name off each other. A lot of these guys building their own name. Xander Zayas is one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he's already been kind of overlooked as far as, a lot of people don't understand or look towards young guys like they used to if they're not really sticking out as far as with the knockouts and certain things like that. But I feel like he's definitely someone that's on a list for me as far as a future pound-for-pound fighter. And that's huge for me to say. I don't usually say that. It's probably the first time I've said that about anybody as far as being a future pound-for-pound fighter. So that's how much I think of his talent. I think he's very good, well-rounded, not too arrogant, knows he has great self-awareness about his skills, and doesn't think he's better than what he really is. He knows where he's at, but he could be better than what he think he is. That's how good he is, though. So a lot of guys at 154, that weight class doesn't have really anyone that's around his age group. A lot of guys are probably 4, 5, 6 years older than him that's even close to competing with him. So he has a lot of different things that he can do that can separate himself from the rest of these guys. That's at 154. I know guys like Jesus Ramos or someone who's around his age that could be competition for the future. But as of right now, he's in a class of his own. But he just gonna keep improving, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna get too high up on things, but on this card, a lot of guys are ramping up the competition to take a step up fights. It might not be big, huge names or anything like that, but these are guys who've been fighting their whole life and also have careers of their own. So that's something that I see that impresses me as far as with certain people that I'm seeing coming out on these fight cards recently, especially with Carrington fighting before Zayas. That's gonna be a huge step-up fight for him as well. So I like the trend of all step-up fights. I feel like most of the guys we've been seeing has been kind of borderline step-up fights, not really, or it's been just for them to get their confidence up. But it's gonna be a huge task, I feel like Xander Zayas is gonna be up for it. This might be one of those fights where it's so fan friendly and competitive that the fans might actually catch on to how good he is. But usually sometimes it takes a guy with a name, you know what I'm saying, these days. That's what it really takes. A guy with a name, or you go in there and start dropping guys like Berlanga does, or he was doing on Top Rank before he moved on. But certain ways to go about it. I feel like if Xander Zayas just keep fighting the way he's been doing, he's gonna keep making a name for himself. He's not someone who's gotta beg for the spotlight. It's basically gonna come. All you gotta do is go in there and win, do what he needs to do, keep developing. But this a big fight though. 21-year-old fight Jorge Fortea. It's a big fight. Fortea's not a bum. He's a contender. So yeah, I definitely looking forward to this fight. I'll say Zayas is probably 2 to 3 fights away from fighting for a belt, but we'll see. Maybe 4 to max, but right now I would say 2 to 3 after this fight. 2 to 3, and then he'll be fighting for a belt because he's still young. You know what I'm saying? He's might be 22 now, but he's 21 last time I checked. But that's all I got though. Like and subscribe.